brought to you by Soundlibra.com. You can find a direct link to our full library in the description of this audio, or visit us anytime at Soundlibra.com. Welcome. Today, we begin our journey into empowered parenting.
It's wonderful to start this exploration with you, Alex. Parenting today feels so complex.
It truly does. Just a quick heads up before we get started. While we're sharing insights and strategies, this show is for educational purposes and isn't medical or professional mental health advice. So be sure to consult with a professional for your specific needs.
That's an important reminder. Parenting can feel so overwhelmed lately. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose of advice, tips, and must-do lists.
Exactly. And that's precisely why we've created the Empowered Parent. Our aim is to help you cut through that noise. We want to guide you toward your own inner confidence and wisdom.
So, the core idea isn't finding one definitive parenting rulebook, but rather empowering parents to trust their own judgment and intuition.
Precisely. Over the next episodes, we'll explore how to identify genuinely helpful information, how to tune into those valuable parental instincts you already possess, and how to set healthy boundaries around external input.
I'm also really excited about the idea of self-care being presented as a superpower. It makes so much sense. If our own energy reserves are depleted, how can we possibly show up as our best selves for our children?
You've touched upon a critical theme. Prioritizing your own well-being isn't selfish. It's essential fuel for patient, present, and effective parenting. Think of yourself as the engine of the family. If that engine isn't maintained, nothing else runs smoothly.
That's a fantastic analogy. This series really feels like a permission slip for parents to acknowledge that need and act on it.
It absolutely is. We're committed to equipping you with practical strategies. These will cover building your own confidence, fostering that crucial secure attachment with your children, and mastering the art of gentle guidance.
The connection you're making between secure attachment and confident, gentle discipline is so impactful. It really highlights how parenting is fundamentally about relationships.
Exactly. We'll also delve into the important area of raising independent thinkers. That means encouraging your children to develop their own critical thinking skills from an early age.
It sounds like a beautiful ripple effect. When parents are empowered and confident, they, in turn, can nurture children who are also more confident and independent.
That is the ultimate vision. We aspire to create a sense of community, making sure you feel supported throughout this journey.
And by the end of the series, the intention is to help listeners consolidate all these ideas into a strong, empowered parenting identity.
So, if you've ever felt swamped by the constant stream of parenting advice or uncertain about your own decisions, you have found the right place.
It's about guiding listeners from a place of anxiety and confusion towards a feeling of confidence and clarity.
We'll be breaking down complex parenting concepts into manageable, actionable steps. And to make them memorable, we'll be using relatable analogies and concrete examples.
Think of each episode as adding a new, indispensable tool to your personal parenting toolkit.
This initial episode has set the stage by introducing the overwhelming landscape many parents face today and outlining our series' core promise to help you navigate it with confidence and trust in your own abilities.
And we've really emphasized the importance of tuning into your inner wisdom, something we'll be exploring much more deeply in upcoming episodes.
So, settle in, get comfortable, and prepare to embark on this empowering journey with us.
We are genuinely excited to explore all of this and more with you.
Thanks for listening. Next episode, Cutting Through the Noise, Information Overload. Welcome back to the Empowered Parent. Last time, we introduced becoming a confident decision maker. Now, let's tackle information overload.
It's true, Alex. We're bombarded with parenting advice everywhere. Social media, friends, articles. It can be overwhelming and paralyzing.
It really is. Not all of it is helpful or accurate. So, step one is learning to identify credible sources. What does that mean?
It means not all advice is equal. A credible source isn't just someone who sounds confident. It's someone or something verifiable, aligned with knowledge, and importantly, something that feels right for our family.
Exactly. We can categorize credible sources. First, established professionals, pediatricians, child development specialists, dietitians, psychologists. They are trained and licensed.
So, for a sleep issue, my pediatrician is the first stop, not a random forum post.
Precisely. They understand your child's specific health needs. Next, well-respected organizations and institutions. Think of the American Academy of Pediatrics or university research departments.
They publish evidence-based guidelines, vetted by many experts. That's a strong endorsement.
Information subjected to rigorous review. Then, evidence-based books and publications. Look for authors with credentials and research-supported content.
And I've found it's also important to look for current information as parenting knowledge evolves.
An excellent point. Knowledge advances. So, look for information reflecting the latest understanding. These are our gold standard sources. What about blogs, social media, or advice from friends?
That's where it gets tricky. Well-meaning people share advice that can feel off. How do we filter?
This requires discernment. Be a detective for your family. Ask, what is the goal of this information? Is it selling something? Trying to shock? Sensationalism signals caution.
Makes sense. If it feels dramatic or like a quick fix, scrutinize it. What else?
Consider the source's expertise and bias. Do they have qualifications? Or are they sharing personal experience, which is valuable but not expert advice? Everyone has biases.
So, anecdotes offer perspective, but shouldn't be the sole basis for decisions.
Exactly. And look for consistency. Does the advice align with credible sources? If it contradicts established knowledge, that's a red flag. Also consider context. What works for one family may not work for another.
That resonates. My child is introverted. Advice for introverts might not be suitable. It's about what works for our family.
Absolutely. This leads to the paralyzing effect of too much information. Our brains can go into overload, making us doubt our judgment. This is analysis paralysis.
Oh, I've been there. Research one thing, 10 related things pop up, and you're more confused.
It's a common trap. How do we avoid it? Be intentional. Decide what you need to know. If you have a specific concern, research it using credible sources. Limit exposure.
Setting boundaries with information is key. Maybe specific times for research, not constant access.
That's a great strategy. And remember, your intuition, your gut feeling, is valuable. After gathering information, reflect. Does it make sense? Do you feel confident? Or does it feel forced?
It's like a compass. The information gives direction, but our inner compass chooses the right path.
Well put. To recap, we identified credible sources, professionals, organizations, publications. We discussed filtering by goal, expertise, bias, and consistency. We touched on analysis paralysis and intentional gathering.
And that leads to trusting our instincts. It's not ignoring advice, but sifting through it to make decisions for our unique families.
Exactly. You are the expert on your child. This episode equipped you to navigate parenting information confidently. Next episode, we'll discuss the power of the pause, listening to yourself. Thanks for listening. Welcome back. Last time, we talked about cutting through the noise of information overload. Today, we're diving into something even more crucial: the power of the pause and trusting your instincts.
That's right, Alex. In our last episode, we discussed how the sheer volume of parenting advice can leave us feeling overwhelmed and unsure. Today, we're shifting our focus inward to that quiet, often ignored voice, our gut feeling.
Exactly. As parents, we're constantly bombarded with advice, opinions, and what-ifs from every direction. Every book, every website, every well-meaning friend seems to have the right way to do things. It's easy to get so caught up in external validation that we start to doubt the very wisdom we possess inside.
It's like we're so busy listening to everyone else, we've forgotten how to hear ourselves. And I think that's where the power of the pause comes in, taking a moment to just stop.
Precisely. The pause isn't about inaction. It's about creating space. Space to breathe, space to observe, and most importantly, space to connect with your own intuition. Think about it, Lisa. When you're faced with a decision about your child, what's the very first thing that pops into your head before all the research and advice floods in?
Often it's a feeling, a sense of rightness, or sometimes a little red flag. It's that primal knowing that something is or isn't quite aligned. But then the doubting starts, doesn't it? I immediately think, am I sure? What if the book says this? What if my mother-in-law disagrees?
That's the external noise trying to drown out your internal compass, your intuition, your gut feeling. These are incredibly powerful tools forged by your unique experiences and your deep love for your child. It is the accumulated wisdom of your entire life, brought to bear on this specific moment.
So how do we actually tap into that? It feels a bit nebulous. How do you differentiate a true instinct from just anxiety or a fleeting thought?
That's a fantastic question, and it's where practice comes in. The first step is simply acknowledging that this feeling exists. When you feel that nudge, that whisper of intuition, don't immediately dismiss it. Instead, pause. Physically pause. Take a slow, deep breath.
Okay, so when that feeling arises, I need to consciously stop my immediate reaction to seek external advice. What do I do in that pause?
During that pause, try to tune into your body. How does this decision or situation feel physically? Sometimes anxiety feels like a tight chest or a knot in your stomach. Intuition might feel like a sense of calm, a clarity, or even a gentle pull in a certain direction. It's not always a booming voice. Often it's a subtle signal.
You're saying we need to develop a greater awareness of our own physical and emotional responses to different situations. It's like learning a new language, the language of our inner selves.
Exactly. And to help with this, let's try a simple exercise. Imagine your child is fussy and you're not sure if they're hungry, tired, or just want to be held. Instead of rushing to check the diaper or offer a snack, try this. Close your eyes for a moment. Take that deep breath. Now, silently ask yourself, what do I think they need right now? And then just listen. What's the first thought or feeling that arises without judgment?
So, instead of immediately Googling baby fussing, I should internalize the question and wait for my own answer to surface.
Precisely. And the more you practice this, the clearer those signals become. Your intuition is a muscle, and like any muscle, it gets stronger with use. It's about building trust in your own capacity to know what's best for your child.
This is so important because we live in an era where we're constantly told we don't know enough. We need the experts, the apps, the trending advice. It makes us feel inherently inadequate.
It does. And that narrative can lead to a lot of unnecessary self-doubt and second-guessing. Think of it this way. Your child is unique. Your family is unique. No two situations are ever exactly alike. While general advice can be helpful, it can never replace your intimate knowledge of your own child and your own family dynamics.
So, it's about finding a balance, not discarding all external information, but filtering it through our own intuition.
Absolutely. The goal isn't to become isolated or to ignore helpful resources. It's to develop a strong internal filter. You read that article, you hear that advice, and then you take that pause. You ask yourself, how does this resonate with me? Does it feel right for my child and my family?
And when you find that your intuition aligns with the advice, it comes from a place of informed confirmation, not blind acceptance.
Exactly. And when it doesn't align, you have the confidence to say, this doesn't feel right for us without guilt. This is crucial for building confident parenting. When you trust your instincts, you project confidence, and that security is felt by your child.
It strikes me that this also empowers our children. If they see us trusting our own judgment, even when it's not the most popular or obvious choice, they learn that their own inner voice is valuable.
That's a beautiful point, Lisa. By modeling trust in our own intuition, we're teaching our children to trust theirs. We're nurturing their inner compass from a young age. Remember that concept of gentle guidance we'll touch on later? This is a foundational element of it.
So, to recap, the power of the pause is about creating a deliberate space to access our intuition. We've learned to recognize intuition as a feeling or a subtle signal, often felt physically. The key is to consciously pause, breathe, and listen internally before reacting or seeking external validation. We're building trust in our own inherent wisdom, filtering advice through our unique family lens, and ultimately, empowering both ourselves and our children.
And to strengthen this, I encourage you to try these simple practices daily. Even in small moments like deciding between two snacks or choosing a bedtime story. Consciously employ that pause, listen to that inner knowing, and observe the results. You might be surprised at how often your gut feeling leads you to the right path.
It's about reclaiming our innate parenting power, which has been there all along, just waiting to be heard.
That's the core of it. Next episode, we're going to tackle the wild world of unsolicited advice. Prepare yourselves. Welcome back to The Empowered Parent. Last time, we talked about trusting your instincts. Today, we're diving into the unsolicited advice arena.
Oh, the unsolicited advice arena. It sounds like a battle, doesn't it? So many opinions coming at you.
Exactly. It's like everyone has a parenting manual they want to share, whether you ask for it or not. Grandparents, friends, even strangers.
And the advice can range from silly suggestions to strong critiques of your parenting. It can feel overwhelming and isolating.
This constant input can really make you doubt yourself. If everyone has an opinion, maybe they're right and you're wrong. So, how do we handle this without losing our way?
That's the big question. I think the first step is remembering that most advice, even if poorly delivered, comes from a place of caring. People want to help. Acknowledging that intention can help.
That's a great point. Try thinking they're offering a suggestion based on their experience instead of they're criticizing me. This changes how you feel about it.
And then we need ways to manage it. Thanks, but no thanks is sometimes too blunt, and we don't always have the energy for a debate. What are some polite, firm ways to set boundaries?
Let's look at some phrases. One good approach is thank you and redirect. Acknowledge their input, then pivot. For example, thanks for sharing that. We're exploring different approaches and we'll find what feels best for our little one.
I like that. It's polite, but clearly states you'll make your own decision. It doesn't invite further argument. What about more judgmental advice?
For pointed comments, try the brief and vague method. Offer minimal information and end the conversation. Something like, we've got things handled, but I appreciate you thinking of us, or we're working with our pediatrician on that. This suggests the issue is already managed.
The working with our pediatrician line is excellent, especially for new parents. It adds authority to your choices. What if it's family, and you want to maintain a good relationship, but still need them to back off?
Family advice can be tough because of the history. It's often best to set expectations beforehand or have calm, direct conversations. You could say, Mom, I love you and value your experience. For this next phase, though, I really need to trust my own instincts. I'll ask if I have questions.
That's about being proactive and honest about needing autonomy. It frames it as your growth, not their mistakes.
Precisely. If advice becomes constant and intrusive, you might need to be clearer. I hear your suggestions, but we've made our decision on this, and I need you to respect that. It's firm and states what you need.
It's about reclaiming your parenting space. This space is yours to define. You need to filter out the noise to build your family's unique approach.
Absolutely. And if you have a partner, a united front is powerful. One can step in. We've discussed this, and we're comfortable with our approach. This shows the decision is a team one.
A united front. That's a strong strategy. So, we've talked about reframing advice as well-intentioned input. We've shared strategies, thank you and redirect, brief and vague, setting expectations with family, and united front.
And it all comes back to trusting your instincts, as we discussed in episode 3. When bombarded with opinions, tune into your internal voice. Give yourself permission to make decisions that feel right for your child and your family.
It's so important to protect that inner knowing. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Setting boundaries isn't rude. It's responsible. You're taking ownership.
Exactly. This isn't about shutting people out forever. It's about managing the flow of information and ensuring your own voice is primary in your parenting journey.
So, next time you're in the unsolicited advice arena, remember you have the right to navigate it with confidence.
Next episode, breaking free from the comparison trap. Welcome back to The Empowered Parent. Today, we're tackling the pervasive comparison trap.
Oh, Alex, it feels like everywhere you look, there's another seemingly perfect family. It's exhausting, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's easy to fall into comparing our reality to someone else's highlight reel.
Exactly. We compare our messy days to their curated moments.
That's the core of it, the highlight reel. Today, we're breaking free from that trap. It robs our joy and erodes our confidence. Let's define this comparison trap.
For me, it's that feeling of not doing enough because someone else seems to be doing better. It's comparing development, home environments, or parenting styles against an often unrealistic external standard.
And that standard is built on incomplete information. We don't see the struggles behind the perfect photos. We're comparing apples to, well, sometimes highly photoshopped oranges.
Indeed. What are the real consequences for parents caught in this trap?
The damage is significant. It breeds discontent, leading to anxiety and inadequacy. You might start doubting your own decisions, even if they're working for your family.
So, we focus on perceived failures instead of celebrating our own successes.
Precisely. It impacts our relationship with our children too. If we're stressed about benchmarks, we might become overly critical or push them unfairly. We want to foster their growth, not force them into a mold.
That makes sense. We want our children to be confident, and that starts with us modeling that confidence. So, how do we break free from this cycle?
The very first step is awareness. Recognize when you're doing it. When you think Sarah's baby is walking, mine isn't, pause and notice that thought.
Like a mental prompt. Am I comparing right now?
Exactly. Once aware, the next step is to reframe. Challenge those comparative thoughts. Instead of focusing on others, bring it back to your family. For the baby not walking yet, reframe to, my child is developing at their own perfect pace and mastering other skills.
That's a powerful shift, focusing on your child's journey, not a universal timeline.
It is. And remember, every child is an individual with their own pace. What worked for one family might not work for yours. Ask yourself, is this comparison even relevant to my situation?
A great guiding question. So, awareness, then reframing. What else can we do?
We need to curate our environment. Be mindful of social media. If certain accounts make you feel inadequate, unfollow or mute them. Your digital space should be uplifting.
I've done that. It felt like decluttering my mental space.
Precisely. And this applies to real-life interactions too. If certain conversations trigger comparative thoughts, set gentle boundaries or steer the conversation.
Mindful of what fuels the comparison for you. So, curating our environments and reframing. What about shifting our perspective on success?
This is huge. Define success on your own terms. Focus on your family's unique progress. Celebrate the small wins, trying a new food, a peaceful bedtime, connecting with your partner for 5 minutes. Those are victories.
Creating your own definition of a good parenting day.
Exactly. And when celebrating wins, practice gratitude. Actively think about what you're thankful for, your child's personality, moments of connection, the lessons learned. This shifts your focus from what you lack.
Gratitude is a simple yet profound tool. It's like putting on a different lens.
It really is. Another key strategy is to focus on your why. Connect with your deeper purpose. When you remember your core values, the external noise of comparison fades. You're guided by your internal compass.
That's a great anchor. Going back to my core reasons for parenting helps me recenter.
And to break free, build a strong support system. Connect with parents who understand and are also working to break free from comparison. Share your struggles and successes with those who uplift you.
Finding your tribe, your supportive community.
Absolutely. Surround yourself with encouragement, not competition. And finally, remember that your parenting journey is unique. Your child, your family, and your way of navigating parenthood are unique. Embrace that.
Embracing our uniqueness. What a powerful takeaway. So, to recap, break free by being aware, reframing, curating our environments, defining success on our own terms, practicing gratitude, remembering our why, and building a supportive community.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. It's about cultivating self-acceptance and trust in your instincts and your family's path. It's a process, but by applying these strategies, you can break free from the comparison trap and find more joy and confidence in your parenting.
Thank you, Alex. This has been so insightful. It's worth the effort to feel more empowered.
You're welcome. Next time, we'll be exploring flexibility and the adaptive parenting philosophy. Welcome back to The Empowered Parent. We tackled the tricky business of breaking free from the comparison trap, reminding ourselves that every family's journey is unique. Today, embracing flexibility.
Flexibility. That sounds like a breath of fresh air, Alex. So often, we can feel like we need a rigid, perfect plan for parenting, but life rarely sticks to a script, does it?
Exactly, Lisa. Rigidity can actually be the enemy of effective parenting. What works perfectly one day might fall flat the next. Our children are constantly growing, changing, and encountering new experiences, so our approach needs to adapt along with them. This is the heart of an adaptive parenting philosophy.
Adaptive parenting. Can you break that down for us? What does it really mean to be an adaptive parent?
At its core, adaptive parenting means being willing to adjust your strategies, your expectations, and even your core beliefs about parenting as circumstances change. It's about understanding that there's no single right way to parent, and that what's right today might not be right tomorrow. Think of it like a sailor adjusting their sails to catch the wind. They don't fight the wind, they work with it.
That's a great analogy. So, it's not about having a fixed destination, but about being able to navigate the journey, no matter what the weather is doing.
Precisely. And this flexibility really shines through as our children grow. What worked for a toddler like a strict bedtime routine, might not be as effective for a preteen who needs more input into their own schedule. Our children's needs evolve, and our parenting needs to evolve with them. An adaptive parent recognizes this and is ready to pivot.
I remember feeling so attached to certain methods when my oldest was a baby, and then feeling completely lost when they just stopped working. It felt like a personal failure.
And that's so common, Lisa. But an adaptive parent views these shifts not as failures, but as opportunities. Opportunities to learn more about their child, to deepen their connection, and to refine their own parenting toolkit. It's about being responsive rather than reactive. It's about saying, okay, this isn't working anymore. What's another way we can try this?
So, what are some of the key components of this adaptive parenting philosophy? How can parents practically implement it?
One of the most crucial components is embracing imperfection. We as parents aren't going to get it right 100% of the time, and that's okay. Our children don't need perfect parents. They need present, loving, and adaptable parents. When we strive for perfection, we set ourselves up for disappointment and stress, and that can spill over into our interactions with our children.
Embracing imperfection. That's a big one. It sounds like it goes hand in hand with self-compassion, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Self-compassion is the fuel for adaptive parenting. When we can be kind to ourselves when we make mistakes, we're more likely to learn from them and move forward without getting bogged down in guilt or shame. And that allows us to be more present and flexible for our children.
Okay, so flexibility, accepting imperfection, and self-compassion. What else?
Another key element is cultivating curiosity and an openness to learning. Instead of digging in our heels and insisting on a particular method, an adaptive parent asks questions. They observe their child. They are curious about what's happening beneath the surface. This curiosity fuels a desire to understand, which is essential for adapting.
That makes sense. If we're curious, we're more likely to seek out new information or try new approaches. We're not operating from a place of knowing it all, but from a place of wanting to learn and grow with our child.
Exactly. And alongside curiosity comes a willingness to let go of outdated ideas. Parenting advice from 20 years ago might not be relevant today. We need to be open to new research, new perspectives, and new understandings of child development. This doesn't mean discarding everything we once believed, but rather evaluating it in light of current knowledge and our child's unique needs.
So it's about being informed, but also discerning and being ready to change course if something isn't serving our child or our family.
You've got it. And this leads us to another vital aspect: clear communication, both with ourselves and with our children. Communicating our expectations, our reasons for certain decisions, and our willingness to listen when things aren't working builds trust and encourages adaptability. With our children, even young ones, we can explain our adjustments. We used to do X, but now that you're older, let's try Y. This helps them understand that change is normal and expected.
That's so important for building their own sense of flexibility, too. If they see us adapting, they learn that it's a positive and necessary skill.
Absolutely. When we can model flexibility, we teach our children resilience. We show them that challenges can be met with creative problem solving, not just stubbornness. We're teaching them how to roll with the punches, a skill that will serve them their entire lives. Remember when we discussed the importance of trusting your instincts in episode 3? Adaptive parenting amplifies that, because sometimes your instinct will tell you that the plan you made yesterday just isn't working today.
That's a great callback. It all connects. So, embracing flexibility means being a parent who can adjust strategies as children grow, let go of rigid expectations when needed, be kind to ourselves when we falter, stay curious and open to new information, and communicate our adjustments.
That's a fantastic summary, Lisa. And it's a journey, not a destination. There will be days when we feel incredibly adaptive and days when we feel stuck. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. It's about cultivating that inner flexibility that allows us to respond effectively to the wonderful, unpredictable journey of raising a family.
It really does sound like a more joyful and less stressful way to parent. Embracing the flow rather than fighting against it.
Exactly. And as our children continue to grow and evolve, so too will our parenting. By embracing flexibility, we equip ourselves and our children with the tools to navigate whatever comes next with confidence and grace.
This has been incredibly insightful, Alex. Thank you for guiding us through the adaptive parenting philosophy. It's definitely something I'll be reflecting on. For our listeners, remember that flexibility isn't about being wishy-washy. It's about being responsive, resilient, and deeply connected to your child's evolving needs.
Well said. Next episode, we're going to focus on a topic that's absolutely essential for maintaining that adaptability and energy, self-care, and how it can truly be a superpower for parents. Welcome back to The Empowered Parent. Today, we're focusing on self-care as a superpower.
For many parents, self-care sounds like a luxury they can't afford, but it's truly essential. It's about replenishing yourself to be the parent you want to be.
Absolutely. We've talked about navigating external pressures and trusting your instincts. These require inner strength, and that strength comes from refueling. Think of it like a car needing fuel. A parent needs to recharge too.
Parents often feel like they're running on empty, giving everything to their children, work, and home. This leads to depletion, irritability, and less patience, making it harder to connect with kids.
Precisely. Neglecting yourself makes you less effective. You might snap or feel overwhelmed. Prioritizing self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary for sustainable, strong parenting. It ensures you have the inner resources for parenting with grace.
So, what are some practical, achievable self-care strategies for busy parents?
Self-care is often about small, consistent acts. Moments of quiet reflection are powerful. Even 5 minutes in the morning or 2 minutes of deep breathing when stressed. It's about creating a space to reconnect with yourself.
Like a mental pause button, giving you time to choose your response instead of reacting.
Exactly. And don't forget the physical side. Nourish your body with better food choices when possible, drink water, and aim for adequate sleep.
Sleep feels impossible for many, but even small steps to wind down before bed can help.
And setting healthy boundaries is key. Learn to say no to extra commitments that drain you. This protects your limited time and energy, allowing you to say yes to yourself.
Saying no felt wrong at first, but I realized it allowed me to say yes to being present for my child or having quiet time.
That's the shift needed. Self-care isn't a reward. It's the fundamental maintenance required to function well. It's the fuel for your parenting engine.
What specific activities are especially beneficial?
Anything that replenishes your energy. For some, it's exercise like a walk or yoga. For others, it's connecting with uplifting people or engaging in a hobby like reading or gardening, even for a short time.
So, it's very individual. What works for one might not work for another.
Absolutely. Self-awareness is crucial. What truly makes you feel replenished? Experiment to find what nourishes your spirit.
And it's not about perfection, but intention and consistency, even in small doses. It's a practice, not a perfect routine.
Brilliantly put. When we prioritize our well-being, we positively impact our children. A rested, less stressed parent is more patient and engaged. Your children benefit from your self-care just as much as you do.
So, to summarize, self-care isn't selfish. It's vital for effective parenting. It involves consistent small actions like quiet reflection, mindful nourishment, boundaries, and activities that genuinely replenish you. The goal is a practice that fuels your ability to be the best parent possible.
And that's the superpower we're cultivating. By taking care of ourselves, we are better equipped to care for our families. We build resilience, enhance patience, and increase our capacity for joy. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Let's ensure our cups are at least partially full.
Well said. Next episode, we'll be exploring building blocks of confidence and fostering secure attachment with our children.
Welcome back to The Empowered Parent. Last time we explored the vital importance of self-care for parents. Today we're building on that foundation by exploring secure attachment.
Secure attachment. It sounds so important, Alex. But for parents listening, what does that really mean in practical terms?
At its core, secure attachment is about the deep, trusting bond between a child and their primary caregiver. It's developed through consistent, responsive, and loving interactions. Think of it like building a solid foundation for a house. This foundation allows the child to feel safe, to explore their world with confidence, and to know they have a reliable base to return to.
So, it's not just about loving your child. It's about how you show that love and support, especially when they're most vulnerable. It's about being the safe harbor they can always count on.
Exactly. And this reliable base is crucial for their development. When a child feels securely attached, they learn that their needs will be met. If they're hungry, they get fed. If they're scared, they get comforted. If they're curious, they're encouraged to explore, knowing they have a safe person to check in with. This consistent responsiveness teaches them that they are worthy of attention and care.
And that feeling of being worthy, that internal sense of value, is what helps build their own confidence. It's like they internalize that secure feeling from their parents.
Precisely. This internal working model, as psychologists call it, starts to form very early on. A securely attached child develops a positive view of themselves and a belief that others are trustworthy and will be there for them. This is the bedrock of their future relationships, their emotional regulation, and their overall resilience.
So, how do we foster this secure attachment? What are the key ingredients a parent needs to focus on?
The first and arguably most important ingredient is responsiveness. This means being attuned to your child's cues and needs and responding in a timely and appropriate manner. When your baby cries, you respond. When your toddler is upset, you offer comfort and understanding. It's about being present and available, both physically and emotionally.
And this doesn't mean being perfect. Parents worry that a missed cue or a momentary lapse means terrible things for their child's future.
Absolutely not. Perfection is not the goal. In fact, a little bit of imperfection, followed by repair, can strengthen attachment. The key is that overall, the pattern is one of consistent availability and care. It's the everyday consistency that matters most.
So, it's about being available and attuned most of the time, and when you miss the mark, you can make it right. What else is important?
Another critical element is sensitivity. This means trying to understand the world from your child's perspective. Being sensitive involves acknowledging their feelings, even if we don't agree with their behavior.
That makes so much sense. It's validating their emotions, even while setting boundaries. And that brings us to consistency, which you mentioned earlier. How does consistency play into this?
Consistency provides predictability, and for children, predictability equals safety. Knowing that bedtime is around the same time, that meal times are regular, that you'll be there to pick them up, these routines create a sense of order and security. It reduces anxiety because they know what to expect.
So, responsiveness, sensitivity, and consistency. Those seem like the three pillars for building this strong foundation.
They are indeed. And remember, this isn't a one-time effort. It's an ongoing process that evolves as the child grows. For infants, it's about meeting their basic needs. For toddlers, it includes encouraging exploration while providing a secure base. For older children, it's about being a trusted confidant and a source of support.
I'm thinking about how this all ties back to our earlier discussions. When we talked about cutting through information overload, for example, secure attachment gives parents the confidence to trust their gut instincts.
You've hit on a key point, Lisa. Secure attachment is what empowers parents. When you have that secure bond, you're less likely to be swayed by every piece of unsolicited advice because you have a deep understanding of your child and your own capabilities as a parent.
It's like having an internal compass. And it makes sense that children who have this secure base are also more likely to be independent and confident explorers of their world. They're not afraid to venture out because they know they have a safe haven to return to.
Exactly. They're more likely to be resilient when faced with challenges, to have better problem-solving skills, and to develop healthier relationships with peers. Because they've experienced a secure, loving relationship, they have a blueprint for what healthy connection looks like. They can also manage their emotions more effectively because they've learned that emotions are okay and that they can be soothed.
So, to recap for our listeners, secure attachment is the secure, trusting bond between a child and their caregiver, built on consistent, responsive, and sensitive caregiving. This foundational bond gives children a sense of safety, worthiness, and confidence, enabling them to explore, learn, and thrive.
And it's the engine that drives empowered parenting. When you focus on building that secure attachment, you're not just raising a well-adjusted child. You're also fostering your own confidence and trusting yourself as a parent. It's a virtuous cycle.
It really is. It's about being present, being attuned, and being consistent. Even with the inevitable imperfections of life, focusing on these core principles creates a powerful, lasting impact.
And it's a wonderful reminder that the most important work we do as parents is often the quiet, everyday interactions that build trust and love. This secure foundation is what allows our children to grow into confident, capable individuals, ready to face the world with courage and a sense of belonging.
Absolutely. It's the bedrock of truly empowered parenting.
Next episode, we'll continue this journey into confident parenting by exploring the art of gentle guidance and confident discipline strategies. Welcome back. Last time, we explored building confidence through secure attachment. Today, we tackle gentle guidance and confident discipline strategies.
Discipline can be a charged topic, Alex. I'm eager to explore reframing it as teaching and guiding, helping kids build vital self-management skills.
Precisely. Empowered parenting and discipline means focusing on positive actions. Discipline, at its root, means to teach or instruct. Let's define gentle guidance.
Gentle guidance sounds like a supportive, leading hand. It implies compassion and a focus on a child's growth.
You've got it. Gentle guidance means setting clear boundaries with empathy. It teaches children to navigate emotions and behaviors healthfully, building self-regulation. It's about helping them understand why certain actions aren't okay and what to do instead.
So it's about long-term learning, not just immediate consequences. This is a significant shift from punitive approaches.
It is, and it's incredibly effective. When we teach rather than punish, we avoid shaming or scaring a child. We help them understand the impact of their actions and develop internal control. Think of teaching someone to drive. You explain, guide, and help them learn from mistakes rather than just yelling.
That driving analogy is perfect. It captures the supportive nature of gentle guidance. How do we start putting this into practice? What are the keys to setting boundaries effectively?
The first key is clarity and consistency. Children thrive on predictability. Boundaries should be explained clearly and simply, using age-appropriate language. For example, instead of "don't be wild," say, "we use gentle hands with toys so they don't break." Consistency means upholding that boundary every time, which builds trust and helps children know what to expect.
Clarity and consistency. That makes sense. If rules are unpredictable, learning is hard. What's the next principle?
The second is empathy and validation. Before correcting behavior, acknowledge the child's feelings. Challenging behaviors often stem from unmet needs or strong emotions. If a child is acting out because they're tired or frustrated, acknowledging that can de-escalate things. I see you're feeling frustrated because your tower fell. That's tough when it happens. This validates their emotions and shows understanding, even if the behavior isn't approved.
Validating feelings is so important for them to feel seen. It prevents them from thinking their emotions are wrong. So, after clarity, consistency, and empathy, what's next?
The third is focusing on the behavior, not the child. Saying, you're being naughty, attacks their identity. Instead, address the action. Hitting isn't a safe way to express anger. Let's take deep breaths, then we can solve this problem. This keeps the focus on learning and problem solving.
Yes, separating the action from the person allows the child to see they can change their behavior without feeling like a bad person. It builds that internal compass.
Exactly. That leads to the fourth principle, teaching problem solving and self-regulation skills. Our goal isn't just stopping a behavior, but equipping them to manage it themselves. If a child struggles to share, instead of taking the toy, guide them through sharing. Can you find a timer? You can play for 5 minutes, then it's your friend's turn. This teaches turn-taking and time concepts.
Teaching problem solving, actively coaching them through difficult situations. This approach definitely requires patience.
It does. And that brings us to a vital element, modeling the behavior we want to see. Children are natural imitators. If we want them to speak respectfully, manage anger calmly, and solve problems peacefully, we must do these things ourselves. Our reactions and communication are powerful lessons.
That's a crucial reminder. It's about how we are, not just what we say. So, to sum up the core principles of gentle guidance, clarity and consistency, empathy and validation, focusing on behavior, teaching problem solving, and modeling the desired actions. That's a solid framework.
It is. Now, let's discuss fostering self-regulation. This is a key outcome of gentle guidance. Self-regulation is a child's ability to manage their emotions, attention, and behavior for successful outcomes. It's like their internal steering system.
Self regulation. I love that phrase. It's about them learning to steer their own ship, not being tossed by every emotional wave. How do we nurture that internal control?
We nurture it by providing practice opportunities. Simple routines, like helping them clean up toys, are a start. Instead of doing it for them, guide them. Let's put blocks in the bin. What comes next? Help them name their emotions too. When a child is upset, we can offer words. It looks like you're feeling sad because your friend left. It's okay to feel sad.
By naming the emotion, we give them a tool to understand and manage it.
Precisely. And we can help them develop coping strategies. For toddlers, it might be a hug, a special toy, or a deep breath. For older kids, drawing, music, or talking. We can model these strategies ourselves. Remember the driving analogy? It's like teaching them the GPS, rear view mirror, and road signs, while they're gradually learning to take the wheel themselves.
That internal GPS is a wonderful image. It's about empowering them to navigate their own experiences. So, these gentle guidance strategies build not just good behavior, but capable, resilient, self-aware individuals.
That's the ultimate aim. It builds a foundation of trust and understanding, where children feel safe to make mistakes, learn, and grow. This approach transforms discipline from a conflict point into a powerful tool for connection and ongoing conversation.
It's a journey, but one that leads to more harmonious and supportive family relationships. We've covered gentle guidance, boundary setting principles, and nurturing self regulation, all about teaching, guiding, and empowering.
Exactly. We're guiding our children towards becoming capable, compassionate, and well-regulated individuals. It's a perspective shift that truly embodies the empowered parent. Next episode, Raising Independent Thinkers, encouraging critical skills. Welcome back. Last time we covered confident discipline strategies. Now let's tackle raising independent thinkers.
Independent thinkers, I love that. It sounds like what we all want for our children, right? Kids who can analyze, question, and come to their own conclusions, rather than just accepting what they're told.
Exactly. And it's not about letting them run wild or make all the decisions. It's about equipping them with the skills to do that thinking. We want to foster a sense of agency and critical analysis from an early age. This is a crucial step in building their confidence and preparing them for a world that is constantly changing.
So, where do we begin with this? How do we encourage something as complex as critical thinking in a toddler or a young child?
It starts with creating an environment where questions are not just welcomed, but actively encouraged. Think about it. When a child asks why, it's a gateway to learning. Our instinct as parents is sometimes to shut it down if we're busy or if the questions feel endless. But that why is the very act of thinking.
That's a great point. We often answer with a quick, factual response, but maybe we need to turn it back to them. Like, that's a good question. What do you think?
Precisely. You're prompting them to explore their own thoughts. This is the core of encouraging independent thought. Instead of just handing them answers, we're guiding them to discover the answers themselves. This helps build problem-solving skills. When a child encounters a challenge, whether it's a puzzle that's not fitting or a disagreement with a sibling, we can help them brainstorm solutions.
Brainstorming solutions. I like that framed as a collaborative effort. So, if they're struggling with a toy, instead of fixing it for them, we could ask, what else could we try to make this work?
Exactly. You're giving them the opportunity to experiment and learn from the process. It's not about the immediate fix, but about the journey of figuring it out. And this naturally leads to fostering autonomy. When children are given age-appropriate choices, they feel they have a degree of control over their lives. This is so important for their developing sense of self.
Choices like what to wear, or what snack they like.
Those are perfect examples. Even small choices demonstrate trust and respect for their budding decision-making abilities. They learn to weigh options and understand the consequences, however minor, of their choices. This is how they develop a healthy sense of independence.
And I imagine this also helps them develop resilience because they'll make wrong choices sometimes, and that's okay.
Absolutely. Learning from mistakes is a fundamental part of critical thinking. When we allow children to experience the natural consequences of their choices within safe boundaries, of course, they learn valuable lessons. It's not about punishment, but about understanding cause and effect. This experience is far more impactful than any lecture.
So, we're encouraging questions, guiding problem solving, offering choices, and allowing them to learn from their experiences. What else can we do?
We can expose them to diverse perspectives. This could be through books, different kinds of media, or even just conversations with people from various backgrounds. When children hear or read different viewpoints, they learn that there isn't always one right way to think about something. This opens their minds and encourages them to consider multiple possibilities.
That's a great way to combat black and white thinking. And it's something we can actively do through reading together.
Definitely. And as they grow, we can move towards encouraging them to evaluate information themselves. In today's world, with so much information bombarding us all, teaching kids to discern what's reliable is a superpower. We can start by modeling this ourselves. When you come across something new, you might say, I'm not sure about this. Let's look into it further to see if it's accurate.
That's a proactive approach to media literacy, even for young children. It's like giving them a mental toolkit for evaluating what they see and hear.
It certainly is. Now, let's take a moment to recap what we've discussed about raising independent thinkers. We started by emphasizing the importance of welcoming and encouraging your child's questions, as these are the sparks of critical thought. Then, we talked about guiding them through problem solving by brainstorming solutions together, rather than just providing answers. This is a vital step in developing their analytical skills. We also highlighted the power of offering age-appropriate choices to foster autonomy and a sense of control. Remember, allowing children to learn from their experiences, including the natural consequences of their choices, builds resilience and shapes their understanding of the world. Finally, exposing them to diverse perspectives and modeling the evaluation of information are key to raising critical thinkers in our complex society.
This is all about empowering our children with the confidence and the intellect to navigate their own paths. It's a shift from directing them to equipping them.
Precisely. This approach lays the foundation for them to become curious, analytical, and self-assured individuals. It's a gift that will serve them throughout their lives. So, think about those moments today. Where can you invite a question, encourage a bit of problem solving, or offer a small choice?
It's a continuous process, and it's so rewarding. It helps them develop that inner compass that will guide them.
It truly does. This has been episode 10, focusing on raising independent thinkers and encouraging critical skills.
We're nearing the end of our series, but the journey of empowerment is just beginning for our listeners.
Next episode, we'll be discussing building your empowered parenting identity. Welcome back to The Empowered Parent. We're finally ready to build your empowered parenting identity.
It's like putting the final touches on a masterpiece. This episode is all about owning your unique parenting path.
Exactly. Building an empowered parenting identity means feeling confident in your approach, even when things get messy. It's about recognizing your own values and letting them guide you, not just following external advice.
So, it's really about understanding what matters most to us and using that as our compass, instead of constantly looking to others for the right way to parent.
Precisely. A great way to start this process is by identifying your core parenting values. What fundamental beliefs do you want to instill in your children? What kind of household do you aspire to create? What truly matters most to you and your family?
For me, some core values are kindness, resilience, curiosity, and fostering a strong connection within our family. Those feel like the bedrock principles.
Those are wonderful examples, Lisa. Articulating these values makes them tangible, like guiding stars. Imagine you're a ship captain. Your core values are your North Star, helping you navigate any storm.
I love that analogy, Alex. It gives you a clear destination, a true sense of purpose. So, once we've identified these core values, what's the next step in building this strong identity?
The next step is to create a personal parenting mission statement. This is a declaration of your purpose as a parent, grounded in your core values. It's a concise summary of what you strive to achieve and who you aim to be for your children. Think of it as your parenting manifesto.
A manifesto. That sounds so official and empowering. How do we go about crafting one? It isn't too complex, is it?
It can be as simple as a few sentences. Start by thinking about your deepest hopes and dreams for your children. Then, weave in your core values. For instance, if kindness and resilience are your values, your mission statement might sound something like this: to nurture a home where kindness is practiced daily, and my children learn to face challenges with growing resilience and confidence.
That makes so much sense. It's a clear, actionable statement that you can refer back to whenever you need a reminder. It's like a personal commitment to your vision for your family.
Exactly. This mission statement becomes a powerful tool. When you're faced with a difficult decision or feel overwhelmed by conflicting advice, you can simply ask yourself, does this align with my parenting mission? It helps you filter out the noise and stay true to your path. Remember episode 4, when we talked about navigating unsolicited advice. This mission statement is your ultimate defense against getting swayed by every suggestion that comes your way.
Absolutely. It truly anchors you. And I imagine this process also helps us in another area we've touched upon significantly: breaking free from the comparison trap. When you know what your family values and your mission, you're much less likely to feel inadequate when comparing yourself to others.
You've hit the nail on the head, Lisa. By defining your own standards and your own vision, you're creating your own game with your own unique winning conditions. This is all about owning your unique parenting identity.
So, we've identified our values and crafted our mission statement. What else contributes to solidifying this empowered parenting identity?
It's about consistent practice and ongoing self-reflection. Building an identity is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. It means actively living out your values, even when it's difficult. It means reflecting on your parenting efforts, acknowledging what's working well, and gently adjusting what isn't. This connects back directly to episode 6, Embracing Flexibility and the Adaptive Parenting Philosophy.
So, it's not about rigidly adhering to your mission statement as an unchangeable rule, but using it as a guiding compass to inform your flexible approach to parenting.
Precisely. It provides a stable foundation from which you can adapt and grow. Another crucial element is recognizing and celebrating your successes, no matter how small they might seem. Parenting is a marathon, not a sprint. Acknowledging your progress helps build momentum and reinforces your confidence. This is fostering self-compassion.
That's so important. We often tend to focus on the mistakes or the things we haven't achieved. Shifting that focus to what we are doing well can be incredibly validating. It's like tending to your own inner garden, as we discussed in episode 7, Self-Care as a Superpower. When you nurture yourself, you have so much more capacity to nurture your family and build this empowered identity.
Indeed. And this empowered parenting identity profoundly influences your children. When you model confidence and conviction in your approach, your children learn to trust their own inner compass. They see you making thoughtful decisions based on your values, and they internalize that. This directly relates to episode 10, Raising Independent Thinkers.
It's truly a ripple effect. By building our own empowered identity, we are indirectly equipping our children to build theirs. We're teaching them the importance of self-awareness and strong personal values from a primary source.
Absolutely. And finally, surround yourself with support that genuinely aligns with your vision. Seek out other parents, mentors, or resources that resonate with your core values and your mission. This helps you curate a support system that uplifts and validates your unique parenting journey.
So, to recap for our listeners, building an empowered parenting identity involves 4 key steps. First, identifying your core parenting values. Second, crafting a personal parenting mission statement. Third, consistently practicing and reflecting, using your mission as a guide for your adaptive approach. And fourth, celebrating your progress and nurturing self-compassion.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. Remember, your parenting journey is wonderfully unique. By actively building your empowered parenting identity, you're not only becoming a more confident parent, but also creating a more fulfilling family life, deeply rooted in what truly matters to you. You are the expert on your child, and you are the architect of your family's growth. Embrace that power.
What a powerful way to put it, Alex. Feeling confident in our own path really does set the stage for everything else we want to achieve as parents.
And that brings us to the culmination of this episode. We've explored how to synthesize all the tools and insights we've gathered to solidify your empowered parenting identity. Next episode, tying it all together, a confident future for your family. Welcome to The Empowered Parent, confident decisions in an uncertain world. This is our final episode, episode 12, and we're here to tie it all together.
It really is the final episode, Alex. It feels like we've covered so much ground since we started. We've gone from understanding the overwhelming amount of information out there to building our own confident parenting identities.
Exactly, Lisa. And that's what this episode is all about. Looking back at our journey and looking forward to the confident future we can create for our families. So, let's recap the core ideas we've explored. Remember episode 2, Cutting Through the Noise? We talked about how the sheer volume of parenting advice can be paralyzing.
Oh, I definitely remember that. It's so easy to get lost in all the books, websites, and social media feeds, feeling like we're not doing enough or doing it wrong. We learned that the first step to being an empowered parent is recognizing this information overload and developing strategies to filter it.
And filtering means trusting your own inner guidance. That's what we discussed in episode 3, The Power of the Pause. We encouraged listeners to pause, breathe, and listen to their own instincts before reacting to every piece of advice or every fleeting worry. Taking that moment of pause allows us to connect with what truly feels right for our child and our family.
That's such a crucial skill. It's like tuning into your own internal compass. And speaking of external influences, episode 4, the unsolicited advice arena, really hit home for many, I'm sure. We tackled how to navigate the constant stream of well-meaning and sometimes not so well-meaning advice from family, friends, and even strangers.
We explored how to set boundaries respectfully and how to internalize the idea that you are the expert on your own child. Your unique understanding of your child's temperament and needs trumps generalized advice. This leads us directly to episode 5, Breaking Free from the Comparison Trap.
The comparison trap. That's a sneaky one. Seeing other parents seemingly effortlessly manage everything can make anyone feel inadequate. We emphasize that every child and every family is different. Comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel is unfair to yourself and can rob you of joy.
Absolutely. And this understanding of individuality is key to our next concept from episode 6, Embracing Flexibility. Parenting is rarely a straight line. We learned that the adaptive parenting philosophy means being willing to adjust our plans and expectations as our children grow and their needs change. Rigidity can lead to frustration, while flexibility allows us to roll with the punches and find new solutions.
Flexibility is so important. It's not about being disorganized, it's about being responsive. And to be responsive, especially when things get tough, we need to be well resourced. That's where episode 7, Self-Care as a Superpower, comes in.
Yes, self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. We framed it as a superpower because when you're running on empty, your patience, your decision-making, and your overall well-being suffer. Prioritizing your own needs, even in small ways, fuels your parenting engine and makes you a more present and effective caregiver.
It's true. When I make time to recharge, I feel so much more capable. And building that capability is closely related to fostering security in our children. Episode 8, Building Blocks of Confidence. Fostering secure attachment was all about creating that safe haven for our kids.
Secure attachment means our children know they are loved, valued, and have a reliable base from which to explore the world. This is built through consistent responsiveness, empathy, and physical affection. When children feel secure, they are more confident, resilient, and well-adjusted.
And that confidence allows them to be more receptive to guidance. In episode 9, The Art of Gentle Guidance, Confident Discipline Strategies, we shifted from punishment to partnership. We talked about discipline not as controlling behavior, but as teaching and guiding, using empathy and clear expectations. The goal is to help children learn self-control and responsibility.
Precisely. And as they grow, we want them to be able to think for themselves. Episode 10, Raising Independent Thinkers, Encouraging Critical Skills, focused on how to foster curiosity, problem solving, and the ability to evaluate information. Instead of just telling them what to think, we learned how to empower them to think for themselves.
That was a powerful episode. It's about equipping them with the tools they need to navigate the world independently. And all of these themes have been leading us towards episode 11, building your empowered parenting identity. This is where we synthesized everything we've learned about information, instincts, boundaries, self-care, and connection to truly own our unique parenting journey.
It's about recognizing that you are inherently capable and that your parenting style is valid. It's about shedding the need for external validation and stepping into your own authority with confidence and compassion. And that brings us to today, episode 12, tying it all together, a confident future for your family.
So, as we wrap up the series, what's the overarching message, Alex? What's the takeaway for parents listening right now?
The overarching message, Lisa, is that empowered parenting is an ongoing journey, not a destination. It's about making intentional, confident choices based on a blend of reliable information, your own well-developed instincts, and your deep understanding of your unique child.
It's about knowing that even when the world feels uncertain, you have the inner resources and the practical strategies to navigate it with grace and strength. It's about trusting yourself and building a strong, secure foundation for your children.
Exactly. You're not alone in this. We started this series by acknowledging the noise, and we're ending by celebrating your ability to discern and trust. Remember the power of the pause, the importance of setting boundaries, the freedom in letting go of comparison, and the necessity of self-care.
Embrace flexibility, foster secure attachment, guide with gentleness, and cultivate independent thinkers. These aren't just topics we discussed. They are the pillars of empowered parenting, pillars you are building within yourself and for your family every single day.
Your parenting identity is evolving, growing, and becoming stronger with every conscious choice you make. Continue to listen to yourself, continue to learn, and continue to trust your path. The future of your family is a story you are writing, and you have the pen in your hand.
Thanks for listening to the series.